Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Dear doctors, this is Dr. Sayyid Ali from Med Xpert. I hope you are doing good. Dear doctors, today I want to talk especially to those doctors who are repeaters. Yesterday, we have conducted a survey from most of the repeaters who scored 119, 118 or even more than 100 marks, but still couldn't pass. I know how painful that feels. Imagine studying for months, sacrificing your sleep, missing family gathering, and then missing your license by just one MCQ, one mark, one concept, and one mistake. If this has happened to you, don't think you are a weak student. The problem is not your hard work, but the problem is your strategy. As I mentioned, yesterday I spoke with many repeaters. Honestly, if I will tell you, the repeaters, they are the real player of this game. They know why they failed. They know what were their mistakes. And these are the only people that can give you a honest opinion, not the one who passed on a first attempt. So, yesterday we conducted that survey from most of the students, as I mentioned, who scored 119, 118, and even more than 100. So, the question that I ask many repeaters, what do you think was the biggest reason you couldn't pass? So, almost everyone gave me the same answer. Mostly students, they told me, sir, we spent too much time watching lectures and videos. Some said that we kept changing books, and some even mentioned we didn't get enough time to practice and to revise because we were going for some physical classes and those kind of stuff. We were not getting enough time, and these are only 3 months to prepare for your exams. Some even told me that our seniors told us to start with your basic sciences, because the basic sciences is your basic knowledge. So once you will have the basic knowledge, then you will be able to understand the clinical subjects, students. That is the main point where you are losing marks. Because let me tell you something. PMDC already told you that your exam will be 70% clinical knowledge, clinical base, clinical subjects, and the 30% basic sciences. If you will give your 100% to this clinical subjects, 100%, you can score only 60 out of 60, right? But you can't do that, because even if you will take a single subject of anatomy, physiology, pathology, community medicine, you can't even finish it in 3 months. So now you have two choices. I can say three choices. You can go with the strategy first with the 30% basic sciences that score 60. If you will hardly complete it in 3 to 4 months, you got 60. Even the students that got 119, they were failed. How you can say that you will pass by by basic sciences? I'm not saying to skip it, and I will never say it to skip it, because it's a portion of 60 marks, okay, and a single MCQ matter. Now let me tell you something. If you consume most of the time with 70% of your subject and it's a 140 MCQ, if you will get even 130 out of 140, you still pass. If you get 125, you still pass. If you get 120, you still pass the exam. Now, if you will have a combo like this, every day, if you will go with 3 clinical subjects and 1 minor, like the basic subject, this combo will give you maximum marks. So let me repeat my statement. I didn't mention, and I never mentioned to skip the 30%, because some students, they are misunderstanding. I'm saying mainly focus on the 70% portion, but also go with the 30%, but with the strategy. As I mentioned, like with 3 major subjects, 1 basic subject. You have 3 months, you can go with like that, and inshallah you can complete it. So the first thing, your priority should be a clinical subjects, so that you can complete it before your exam. For minor subjects, you can even go for rapid revision points at the end, because in anatomy, I know you will memorize the nerves, the fracture side, which nerve is injured, those kind of stuff. For physiology, cell mediators, right? And those kind of stuff you can memorize, but the clinical sciences, it need a concept. I know that most of the student will still misunderstand this, but I'm telling you a strategy that is a combo, not a single thing. Let me give you an example, simple example, regarding the strategy, why I'm mostly emphasizing to study yourself, to read, and to practice. Why? So I'm going to give you an example. For example, if you want to become a good cricket player, can you do it by watching YouTube all the day? The answer is no. You have to go to the ground, you have to bat, you have to bowl, and you have to field, and you have to make some mistakes. Only then you will improve. So NRE preparation is exactly the same. Reading gives you knowledge, MCQ practice gives you confidence. Every wrong MCQ teaches you something new, and something, that one new concept becomes the one extra mark that helps you pass the exam. Now let me talk about another point. As already I have mentioned, like some student, they only are saying why we should focus on the 70% and the 30%. So I mentioned that I didn't even mention to skip the 30%. I have never said that. I'm not asking you to skip basic sciences. I'm asking you to study them with a proper plan. You only have 3 to 4 months before your exam. In these 3 months, you have to revise what you studied during 5 years of your MBBS journey. So tell me honestly, can you read every standard textbook from cover to cover? Can you finish anatomy properly? Then pathology, biochemistry, community medicine, pharmacology. These are huge subjects, students. Understand. Even one subject can take months if you study every detail. Then tell me, when will you study medicine, surgery, peds, gynae, neurology, those kind of stuff? And when will you practice MCQs? When will you revise? This is why you need a strategy. Not because basic sciences are unimportant, but because your time is limited. The NRE paper is approximately 70% clinical sciences and 30% basic sciences. Why the PMDC is telling that again and again? So your study plan should match the exam. Now, you can see here the Med Xpert portal. I'm going to show you something. If you can see, we have the daily topics, right? In daily topics, if we can open it, you can see we have a gynecology, we have neurology, we have biochemistry and rheumatology. We are not skipping anything. You can see here. Now, we have surgery, we have medicine, peds, and endocrinology. Students, this is a strategy. And with this strategy, inshallah, we are going to cover all the subjects, syllabus, including daily practice on MCQs, including weekly mocks exam. We will finish it until September 26, inshallah. And after that, we have a strategy for revision, and our revision will be like that. We will go with grand mocks, we will go with past papers, MCQs practice, and we will go with the rapid revision. So it covers most of the things. Students, these were the really important things that I wanted to share with you. And there is another example that I would like to give you on the 70% and the 30% debate. There's a famous saying, right? Like they said that if something happens in the world, your first concern is your country. If something happens in your country, your concern becomes your province, your state. If something happens in your province or state, you think about your district. If something happens in your district, you think about your village. Does that mean the rest of the world is not important? Of course not. It simply means you give priority to what needs your attention first. The NRE preparation is exactly the same thing. Studying everything, but give more time to the part that carries more marks. More marks, more chances to get pass. Now I want to request all my respected seniors, please don't confuse young doctors. They are already under stress. Instead of criticizing them, guide them. Please guide them. Instead of making them afraid, teach them the right strategy. Doctors, please remember one thing: don't study from different books. Choose one reliable resource. Read it again and again. Practice MCQs every day because one day you will appear in a MCQ exam. Revise every day. Trust the process, please. And to every repeater watching this video, if you scored 119, don't think your dream is over. You are not far from success. You are just one better strategy away, one better revision away, one better MCQ away. Don't repeat the same mistakes. Change your strategy and your result will change, inshallah. Remember this line: don't study harder than everyone else, study smarter than everyone else. And my final message to you is this: the NRE is not won by the student who studies the most. It is won by the student who follows the right strategy and the right plan. Inshallah, your next attempt will be your successful attempt. May Allah bless all of you and make successful doctors. Ameen. Thank you and have a great day.